Hello guys! Welcome back to K24 Project YouTube channel. In this video, we will show you how to make this simple and beautiful pattern checkered printed JSK. I had so much fun time doing this project and I hope you will have fun making one as well. So let's start the project. Here is our pattern for today's project. You can pause this part and take note on the pattern piece I followed. The pattern piece in this project is mainly simple and beginner. We will start off by sewing the two top front bodies together. Make sure to line the two pattern checkered cloth together so it won't look awkward later on. Now, I'm sewing a simple pink ribbon to hide the cut part in the middle of the top bodies. After this, we will sew 2 inches with pink lace on each side. I'm measuring half an inch from the middle and from the ribbon as my marking and starting point. Now, we can sew the lining on. I'm using a white cotton twill cloth for this project because I wanted the inside not to be too thick and not to be too thin. Sew along the edges of the long rectangle, leaving the lower part of the bodies open. Don't forget to cut all excess cloth before turning it inside out. After this step, we can now turn it inside out. Make sure to poke or nook every corner for a crisp finish. Press and iron all the sides of the top bodies, especially the corners. After this, we can now flat sew all the sides of the top bodies. I'm sewing as close as possible in the edge of the rectangle panels. After this, we will mark the middle of the top bodies. And then, we will be measuring 3 inches from the middle on both sides. My taxing is around 5 inches height for this project. After you sew your taxing, we will sew it flat on their designated side to make the sewing of the skirt later on easier. This will save you a lot of stress if you do. Our next step is folding the top bodies. Then, we will take our measuring tape and from the back panel or the back side, we will measure 3 inches from the top. From the front, we will mark 5 inches. And from that marking, we will be measuring around 5 inches down. Make sure that they are even and pin it down securely. This will be our arm part of the bodies. After you're done with the marking, we can now cut all the markings that we made. Flat sew all the cut parts of the top bodies. After this, you can run them into the edger. When you're done with this step, you can now fold and flat sew the raw edges of the top bodies. I'm sewing half an inch fold for the top bodies. This is my standard in sewing flat press on my project bodies. Gather the skirt to match your waist measure. This will depend on your waist. When you are done gathering, you can now sew the skirt on top of the bodice. I'm sewing half an inch from the edge of the top bodice. When you're done, I will run this one more time for a sturdier support. This is for the back panel cover. Since I'm not planning to use a zipper in this project, I will show you another way of closure. Usually, JSK can be corset. While corset is commonly known in gowns, this closure can also be used in simple JSK and dresses. I'm sewing a 10 inches length and 6 inches with box with lining. Sew all the 3 sides together, leaving the top part open. Once you are done with this, you can flip it inside out and then point in all the corners for a crisp finish. I iron and press it down for more crisp finish. Then, I'm sewing along the edges. Our next step is the ribbon closure at the back of the dress. We will cut 5 to 6 pieces of 3 inches satin ribbons. And from the edge measure, we will mark 3 inches where we wanted to sew the ribbons. This part is hard to explain, but you wanted to sew the ribbon facing away from the edge. Then, when you are done with this, you will fold the ribbon to face the edge, then flat sew them again. Now, we can sew the back panel cover just right beside the ribbons. When you're done with this step, we can now sew the back part panels together. Make sure that you will start where the back cover is enough to cover the opening. I'm sewing half an inch from the edge. After this, we can now flat sew the edge of the skirt, or what you also call hemming. Our next step is making the shoulder strap. My model's shoulder measure is around 9 inches from the front bodice to the back. Fold and sew a 4 inches with cloth and then run them into the serger. Once you're done with that, you can flat sew the edges for a final finish. Now, sew the strap on the front bodice. Then measure 3 inches from the edge to sew the back strap to the bodice. Our next step is getting this 15 inches length cloth, 3 inches in width, and then run all the sides to the edger, or hem all the sides. When you're done, you can sew it on top of the front bodice, gathering the cloth as you sew. I've added ribbons and I made the headpiece separately off cam. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making this project and I hope you do too. Tune in for more and don't forget to share and comment down below. And of course, if you're still not part of the family, click subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye!